the slingshot and break the prop. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Let me like get it so that it's like comfortable on my screen.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't think he can. Instagram needs a forward, backwards pause. Anyway, ready, set, play.
So everybody's doing a bunch of coronavirus panic buys at the grocery store, and I was asking Trav, like, what do we need? You know, what do we need to stock up on? And it's like, do we need meat? No. Don't think we need any meat. Do we need veggies? Oh, no. No, we don't need any veggies. What about fruit? Are we good on fruit?
Bitch got an orchard.
No, I think we're good on fruit. Do we need water?
God damn.
Don't think we need any water. What about eggs? Nah. I don't think we need any eggs. Are you sure we have enough meat? Yeah.
Better have
Yeah, I
electricity.
think we got enough meat.
Oh, wait, mine's cut off. Mine cut off.
A bunch of
Mine ended after the meat thing.
Yeah,
I think
so. The end of the thing, you want to click the arrow that goes to the right, and it goes again. It's the second part of the video. The first time I watched
there's
more.
more. Oh wow.
Yeah. She ain't done yet.
Oh, all right, let's watch it. I'm
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm
Steve, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready, set, play.
What about power? Are we going to be able to store all this meat if the power goes out? Oh.
Tesla generators.
No, we're good on power.
Solar, I guess.
All joking aside,
Yeah.
you know, me and Trav love to preach a message of sustainability here at Browsy Acres, not just because of it being good for the environment,
that's all over
and
prepping.
good for our health, and good for our
She
finances,
got some shit
but it's
for
also good to be
saying
prepared.
that.
And
You know, of course, like
you're
whenever you
prepared,
show
there's no
anything
need
like
to
that, people are like, give it all to us.
No, I don't.
Well, there's.
That-
I don't think that's why she's getting shit for it. I think she's getting shit for it a couple reasons. A, the condescendingness of like, and like, look, paupers, we're so prepared in a way that no one who doesn't have a fucking fortune could be prepared. Like the Tesla generators, fuck you. Like that kind of thing.
That's the part that's a little above most people's reach.
When-
Everything else you could do.
I really want to go.
But
When she
space,
said that it was good for her finances, I'm like, show me the spreadsheet. Show me how how you're saving money by buying your own farm and raising your own eggs. I'll tell you, the fish I've caught are the most expensive fish I've ever eaten by far. Some of them hundreds of dollars a pound. I haven't saved much money by doing the sorts of things that she does. It's a hobby.
But that's probably a non-profit ranch she's got there. They probably bring some special needs kids out a couple times a year, ride those ponies around. She's not paying taxes on any of that.
But that's my point. Like the idea that like she has a fucking orchard. She has, and look, I don't begrudge her any of this.
No.
I'm
She
just
earned it
saying
all.
that like if she says she earned it by getting hit in the face, she earned it. But like or tackled or whatever it is. But my point is that like she is presenting in a way of like everybody should do this, and that's such an out of touch thing to say when like there are people who can barely afford the fruit on one of those trees, let alone the whole fucking orchard.
Well, okay, if we're talking about the absolute paupers of the world who can't afford an orange, then fair enough. But
There's more than one orange on a tree, Kyle. Just
I said more than one. You know how much? I don't know how much an orange costs. Who eats oranges anyway? Who's like buying oranges?
It's like that Arrested Development scene where they didn't know how much a banana cost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would guess 70 cents. I don't fucking
I literally don't know how much a banana costs. I don't do my own shopping.
I'm allergic to them for one thing. But you could get most of that done for what less than land in cheap areas is $4,000 an acre.
But not
the meat is no problem at all. That's hunting. They killed that. That's deer meat. That's elk meat.
But most people can't live in a part of the country that has that much space and still work a job. Like there's
right? We're
now that we'll teleconference, but like just the idea that like she has that stuff because she has a ton of money.
Sure.
Like not just because it's her hobby. She has the money.
She didn't have any of those things 4 years ago. And in her retirement, that became a passion of hers. That's what I'm getting from this. That she's like, you know what? I think homesteading is fun. Let's And this is what homesteading looks like with a nearly limitless supply of money.
Yeah, she's still making crazy money with the WWE.
Mm-hmm. But I don't
Yeah.
think she has to work quite as hard as she did when she was a competitive athlete.
Of course not.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to work at all.
Well,
If she had put that out there and had just been like, "Hey, I'm a prepper. I've been prepping for years. This is what we have here." Like, I think that would have been a lot different. They'd be like, do we have enough meat, honey? I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
we
it was
should check our
condescending.
meat farm.
It was condescending as fuck. But
Yeah.
she's never been a likable person.
No.
Like her thing has always been that like I don't even you go back to her Howard Stern interview. She's always been a real cunt.
she's
All
always
right.
been a cunt, undoubtedly. But people liked her and didn't know she was a cunt. Like, all they knew was she was a winner and they liked her. And then once they found out she was a cunt, things changed. Everyone started rooting against her.
But that's fine as long as you keep winning. I mean, there are plenty of guys out there. It's like, oh yeah, Colby Covington does not want you to like him. I can't remember who it was, but there's one of these guys who plays the bad guy, in press conferences. And his opponent goes, "Nobody likes you," and he's like, "Yeah, that's the point, dumbass."
Did Chael Sonnen say that?
I don't recall who it was.
Yeah,
I doubt
yeah.
it was Chael, but Chael's always preaching, that hey, look, you're coming out wrong on this. He's the good guy. There's only space for one other kind of guy here. You got to be the other guy's foil.
Chael, when he sells these things, it's interesting. I feel like he's an expert in selling fights. And he says half of the fighters need to be good guys, half of the fighters need to be bad guys, but 90% want to be good guys. So there are some job opportunities here if you're willing to be an asshole. Colby Covington.
Well, that's got to be tough. I always wonder, is there like one of these guys who plays a heel who just wants to be liked, and like on one hand he's like, well, I'm making a couple mil on this and this is working well, but then he just goes home and cries.
Yeah, Andre the
It's
Giant
like,
was like that.
Nobody likes me.
Was he?
In
Yeah.
professional wrestling, yeah, he often got put in the position of being the bad guy or the monster, and it would really hurt him that he'd get he wasn't one of those guys who fed off of the booze like Hulk Hogan loved that shit. He didn't carry it away. He just wanted you loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Chael talked shit and bad guyed his way into some of the most prestigious fights and prestigious positions in his sport. And I mean, he got into so many fights that he shouldn't have been in. Like there was no reason for him to be fighting John Jones that night.
I'll tell you how he got that fight. Like, okay, so he's answered this question before, and I love his answer. They say, you talked your way into that fight. Your mouth got you this fight, not your fighting skills. And he said, yeah, my mouth got me this fight. You know what it said? Yes. Because here's what happened. He was fighting, I think it was Dan Henderson. And Dan Henderson had to pull out with like 2 weeks' notice. Chael Sonnen raises his hand and says, I'll fight him. Maybe it was less, like 3 days' notice. He's like, I will drive over there tonight. I can make weight before morning, and I will fight John Jones and save this show. John Jones pulled out. John Jones said, no, I'm not fighting Chael on 3 days' notice. Until they did fight, Chael was the champion. Once they fought, that got reversed. But Chael walked around saying, he forfeited. This guy's scared of me. He doesn't want any part of the guy with the biggest arms and the guy with the greatest charms. Right? Yeah. Chael Sonnen went, and he just went crazy with it. Chael Sonnen got that fight because he was willing to save a show. And a lot of people, that I call him Lolita Machado, which is close. He turned down that fight. They gave him an opportunity. He's like, no. If I get a title shot, I want a full 8-week camp. I want to be the best me.
That whole thing with Anderson Silva, like he would talk about
the
people of Brazil.
Yeah.
In terrible ways about how shitty, and Conor McGregor was good at that too. When he said that shit to Jose Aldo, he said, if this was a different time, I'd ride into your favela on horseback and I'd kill anything that wasn't fit to work. But it's a new time, so I'm just going to come down to Rio and whoop your ass. It's just like, oh my God.
That was a good line.
There's some colonialism mixed in here. He's taking it back to like the 1700s or something.
I love the idea that he was like, if it was a different time, I could do something horribly racist and ignorant, but it's not. So I'm just gonna talk about how I want to.
Yeah, exactly. He said that
Yeah.
he was saying the most offensive things he could come up with. Like he wanted to
Yeah.
upset this man, and it worked. It absolutely
It
worked.
did. And then they did it to Khabib. And Khabib beat the fuck out of him. It was
Kind of went
It's a-
around.
it's, a-
Best.
it's such a weird
Khabib
thing
beat the
because
hell out of him, and he said, "Talk now, keep talking. What do you have to say?" And Conor in the fight was like, "It's just jokes. Back off." Yeah, he got fucking cucked in that fight. It was glorious. That's exactly how it went down.
As an MMA fan, I'm just surprised that you feel this way about Conor McGregor, who's responsible for the current success of the sport, and the reason we
I
get so
liked
many
the sport
cards.
before Conor was in the UFC.
The sport wasn't as good.
I don't know.
They didn't
I don't
have
know
as
very
much
much.
money.
I know very much about UFC, but did I ever tell you guys a story about when I was accidentally in Vegas in the same hotel as a Conor McGregor fight?
No.
And like and he won, and all these people were like singing Irish songs drunk at me, thinking I was Irish also, and I am very much not. And then they would like be mad at me that I wasn't singing along, and I like didn't know what to do. And I was like, "We have to get the fuck out of this hotel immediately." I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
I've
I
either
can
got to
see the
learn
confusion.
Gaelic very quickly, or we got to run.
Yeah, like, please, someone give me something green. Give me something green. Come on.
Yeah, I think that Khabib doesn't understand selling a fight, and he doesn't sell fights well. And Conor McGregor is the best that there's ever been at selling fights. So at that point, it was like, don't you understand? Like
maybe the best. Khabib doesn't value money. That's the difference. Khabib doesn't.
Yeah, that's the guy I want working for me.
Well, I hear you, but to me, it has its own kind of charm. It makes me want to pay him anyway. But yeah, Khabib, he's going to retire before he's run out of opponents. He's going to retire when he could have made more money. He's not. If he was interested in money, he'd be looking for a Conor rematch. Instead, he says,
Is he just
this
like
guy's not
loaded
worthy.
or?
No, he's Muslim. He lives with his dad. I guess in Dagestani culture, the youngest child lives with their father. And in spite of the fact that this guy's rich and famous and one of the toughest fighters to have ever lived, he still fears his father and lives under his roof because that's where he's from.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got terrorist ties as well. He's a scary guy.
Jesus.
That's not true, though.
I heard it was.
Conor McGregor did say it, so I heard it too.
He also mentioned the thread count on Khabib's wife, which was one of the best lines ever because she wears the full get up.
Oh
The
my
best
God.
line was, "Try talking now," while he was punching him in the face and holding him down, and it was delivered by Khabib.
I disagree.
That is
I
a pretty.
disagree.
That is a pretty.
That one was not very witty. And
It's the delivery.
I don't know.
Kyle.
That's like an action hero line.
Yeah,
That's like
so we're all making more money because I talk shit. Why are you so angry?
I did like Cowboy said that, and a couple other people said that. There were like reporters who were like, I'm making double what I normally make in this McGregor versus Cowboy fight, and so thanks, Conor. I appreciate that. And he really, it seemed to warm his heart. Like he's like, I like that someone recognizes that we're all getting paid because of the work I put in.
All the ships rise with the Conor tide. It's just a fact of life.
That is true.
He's just like, my fictional racism has fed your children.
Oh, his
So you
racism
guys
is
need to
real.
support
I
it.
believe that part.
Okay,
I'm just
fair.
not so sure if he has. I heard something about some terrorist warlord or something like that over in the Daggies that he had some sort of ties where there's some money getting funneled to.
They were probably freedom fighters, Kyle.
Freedom fighters like the brave Mujahideen.
Yes.
I always reference this, but maybe Steve doesn't know. You're familiar with the Rambo series of movies. Well, in Rambo 3, he goes to Afghanistan and he fights with the Afghanistanis, as I call them, and against the Russians. That was the premise of the third film. And at the end of the film, at least on the old VHSs, there's a scroll, and it reads, thank you to the gallant men of the Mujahideen.
Oh my God.
Then it literally like you get a DVD of that shit now and the brave people of Afghanistan or something like that. I don't know what it says now, but it doesn't mention the gallant Mujahideen.
Thank you to the gallant men of the Mujahideen. We worked with a young up and coming leader named Osama. He's really tall guy, got some interesting ideas, and he really advised the movie pretty well.
Lanky but strong.
Lanky but strong. Wiry. He'll just wrap you up. He's John Jones type build. Yeah. I wonder what he looked like under that get up. I wonder what he actually looked like in his prime, Osama.
I never thought about it, but now I do too. I wonder
Yeah.
I assumed it was just 4 kids in a trench coat. Like I didn't.
what.
He lived a rugged life. I bet he was wiry and strong.
Did he?
Yeah, he lived in those fucking caves.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think he was the guy moving rocks though, making pillows out of rocks or whatever the fuck you do. when you're in a
Wildly
camp.
wealthy, but lived as a
Wasn't he
militant fighter.
Saudi, like royalty or something?
Not, I don't. They're all royalty over there. You know,
Okay.
that's like
Yeah. Did he come from Saudi money?
I believe
think he
so,
did. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that counters the ruggedness of what his individual experience might have been.
You never know because of their culture, right? Like you could say that about Khabib at this point, right? I bet Khabib's son isn't going to live some kind of privileged life. It's going to be rough. I would hate to be his son.
Yeah, I heard,
like, come
I
on,
heard-
Dad. Why do I have to ride a goat
Yeah.
to school?
And I just want to watch YouTube on my iPad. That's not the life that kid's getting.
Mm-mm.
Warren
No.
Buffett does the same thing with his kids. You know, very similar.